Good evening, Freddie Vasquez here with Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, rising ground, rising taxes, and rising rents. Let's talk about the increase in the cost of living here. Also, rising ground, not be getting their lease over there at the St. Anne's school. And how are the residents feeling about what's all going on here in the city of Yonkers? The rising costs, rising rents, taxes. Let's talk about it. Basement Politics Unfiltered. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Good evening, folks. I also want to talk about
I was raised in housing.
Housing. Housing. I do want to talk about housing a little bit today. I want to tie it into the cost of living, the rising cost of living here in the city of Yonkers. But first, I want to talk about Rising Ground. As you can see, there's the website there from Rising Ground. I was recently told that Rising Ground will not be getting, albeit offered a lease over there in District 6 at the St. Anne's School, the former Catholic school over there off Midland Avenue. And many of you may recall there were several town hall meetings. That's actually the 2 town hall meetings. The first one, there were elected officials. It got very loud. I attended also, and people were upset about Rising Ground coming into the community. They had another town hall or another meeting actually where they just wanted the residents of District 6, no elected officials, no news people, nothing. And I'm not sure what was said there, but they had more discussions. And the result was there would not be offered the lease. Now, a lot of people are upset about that fact. There are people saying this is an organization that's here for children. And how can anyone be against children? And if you don't know who or what Rising Ground is, Rising Ground does various things involving children. I just want to go over a few things that they do. They provide parent-child services, foster care and adoption, mother and child programs, homeless and runaway youth services, among other things. They also provide universal pre-Ks and stuff. But the program that they wanted to bring in District 6 was a sort of like a school where they were going to bring migrant children from the border, and they were going to have them there or house them there for a while until I'm assuming that they got adopted, and maybe through their program, through their adoption agencies, they help find the children permanent homes. But I've heard actually a lot of negative things about Rising Ground, and so I actually talked about that a little bit. It just so happens that an employee of mine is a former employee of Rising Ground and overheard me talking about it, and they said, "Wait a minute, maybe they shouldn't have that in their community." That's actually what she said, and she's not a racist; she's Jamaican American. And then she contacted another employee. She said, "Let me call up another employee that I know, a friend of mine, and I want you to hear what she has to say." So she called her up, and it just so happened actually that that employee was recently let go and was upset about it. There was some issues, and she started to talk about it. And some of the concerns that they said people should be aware of is just that the school is a bit out of control. They said staff members have been assaulted by the kids that go there. They don't really have, like I said, control of it. Staff members have paid some of the students to attack other staff members, and they actually called it a zoo, quote unquote. And I'm just being honest and giving you the information that they said to me. And these are, both, women of color. So it had nothing to do with race, but they were just kind of, even though they don't live in the district, they were even against having it go there. They said it's probably best for them not to have it in the community. So I don't know. I've worked at group homes and stuff before. The one I worked at, they pretty much had a good handle on things for the most part. I don't think there was ever any issues with the community where we were at, although we were kind of away from homes and stuff. But it's not coming there. It's not going to be there. So I'm sure residents who were upset about the possibility, are happy about that. And again, my thing is, making it about race is a straw man argument to me. And I think they've made it about race, and even making it about children is a straw man argument. I think it's about people who live in a community who want their community to be a certain way. And, they have strong feelings about that. And I don't think that anyone should be forced, especially if you have a majority in that community that are opposing it. They shouldn't be forced to have it, in there. You know what I mean? They shouldn't have to, just because people that are outside that community especially say it's the right thing to do. So I was, kind of a little bit on the fence on that one. I kind of agree with the community members. If they don't want it there, I do think that there are a lot of positive things that they can actually do, maybe with the school, to impact so much of the needs that we have here in the city. And that was kind of my thing, what I said. So there's a whole big thing going on there at the border, and migrant children, and not just migrant children, but migrant adults. And I recently posted a video of an investigative journalist who followed a Greyhound, or two Greyhound type buses, from the Westchester County Airport, carrying migrants that have arrived from Florida. And they started out at the border, went to Florida, and then they were flown in at night in private jets to the Westchester County Airport. They were loaded up on two Greyhound style buses and taken up to Sloatsburg, where they were let off at a rest stop. They would just let go. They said, "Here you go, go." I mean, who's paying for these buses and planes, and why are they letting people go? I mean, you don't know who's coming into the country. It could be someone that has, ill intent for America, right? And and where are they going? They're just wandering the streets now. I mean, we already have an increase in homeless population here in Westchester. And this is true. I have posted a video, and there were also, cases of private planes coming into Westchester County Airport at night carrying migrant children, and people were wondering where they were going. And according to some elected officials, they were going to either family members or sponsors. And that should be concerning, because where are these children going? They're being taken from the border, no parents, flown into the United States all the way up to New York, and then taken to some sponsor. I mean, that's a bit strange. And I just, again, who's paying for these planes and stuff? And another thing that bothers me, and I don't want to say all organizations like this, I'm not trying to generalize, but an agency like this, many times what they do is they do this for the money. They go down there and they grab, migrant children and just use them to fill up their quota so they can get money from the federal government, because that's what they're doing. So, what is their, ultimate long-term goals other than just this short-term making money from each child? Let's go scoop them up, and then maybe we can give them to, some adoption or some parents, and then make money that way. So it's, don't get it twisted. It's not like there's such a great organizations that they want to do all this stuff because they're just so kind. This is all about making money. Each child is a dollar sign to them. It really is. It just really is. So I wanted to give that update. District 6, you guys fought hard. But what I really want before I move on is for people to at least take away from this is that if you get together, you fight, and you voice your complaints, concerns, and you can be consistent and be firm, don't give in, you can make changes. You can get what you want. So that's a good example of that there. So, I guess that's a positive thing. I just want to post this picture here. The gentleman on the right with the glasses, that is the I guess the CEO or the executive director of Rising Ground. You can see the frustration on his face at the first town hall meeting when he was there. They were also not asked back to the second meeting. It was just between the parish and the members of the district 6 there. So moving on, I want to talk about the developments a little bit, but I want to talk about rising rents, the rising cost of living in general here in the city of Yonkers. I saw someone post about their rent being increased by 20%. 20%. That's a lot. If you're paying $2,000 a month in rent, that's a $400 increase. $3,000, that's a $600 a month increase. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. So why are rents going up, right? They were upset. They said these developers are getting these tax breaks. They're getting tax abatements on property taxes, and yet our rent is going up. Well, cost of everything is going up. many of the buildings take oil to heat up. Well, today we're supposed to be having record high oil or gas prices. Way to go, Biden. And Nancy Pelosi is against tapping into our energy that we have here, or at least producing some of our own energy now, so we can try and reduce those prices on gas. But landlords have to pay that. And guess who they pass the extra added expense down to? The tenants. That's every business. Every business. When they have to pay more for whatever it is that they have to pay for in their business, they're going to pass that expense down to the customer. That's just how it always is. And we have rising taxes, right? Increasing taxes. That's going to get passed down to tenants. So one of the things is oil. You had to heat up the place. They're going to pass that down to their tenants. So people are upset. They're saying it's not fair. The developers are getting tax breaks. We're getting tax increases. I hear taxes are going up about 2.9% here in the city of Yonkers. Basically call it 3%. And all the while you hear developers like Xtel getting tax breaks. They recently broke ground over there on Alexander Street for their 1,400 unit project. It's going to consist of seven buildings along the Hudson River, the last piece of land that has not been developed, if you don't count JFK Marina, which I think is going to be developed soon. There was an article about it in the Yonkers Tribune. I want to read that, but I also want to talk about what people are saying in regards to all that's happening here in the city of Yonkers. Xtel Development joins Yonkers Mayor Spano for a groundbreaking of Hudson Piers, a $585 million mixed-use community on the Hudson River. Yeah, it's going to be huge. I've seen the renderings. In what will be one of the largest mixed-use communities in Westchester area, executives from Xtel Development Company joined Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano and other city, county, and state officials on May 5th for a groundbreaking. I was there, got me a little tag. I would consist of 1,400 luxury and affordable apartments. All right, so they say affordable. Remember, the ordinance was not increased, so it's still at 10%. So about 14 of the units, right, out of that will be affordable. The rest will be market rate. 1,400 luxury affordable and affordable apartments. Exciting retail and a new riverfront esplanade, along with a prime waterfront location with beautiful views of the Hudson River, right? So that area is going to go private. I'm telling you, folks, it's going to go private. The JFK Marina is going to be next because they're building, what they're doing is a trail, right? I forget what it's called. It's going to start all the way actually down that Battery Park and go all the way up to Albany. And when they were discussing this development that day, they said they're going to do an unbroken or undisturbed long 1.5 mile, walk and bike trail and all that. So it's going to go through the JFK Marina. Eventually, they're going to build townhomes. That's what I'm hearing over there at the JFK Marina, folks. Is coming. But people are upset. Check out Tasha Diaz, and I'm going to get into that for a little bit. Just remember this picture. Let me bring it up real quick. Remember that. And then I'm going to go to the comments here. That's the groundbreaking there. Tasha, the majority leader, joined them. People are upset. I think Mike Spano is a nice enough person, but not nice enough. He doesn't seem to have any core belief. He goes with the tide, whatever is popular at the moment. Yonkers does not need any more high-rise apartments. As someone who remembers them taking down all those beautiful estates on North Broadway so they could put up so-called luxury apartments, look at them now. The same thing happened on Warburton Ave. I used to go to Getty Square all the time. Now I meet more people I know in Hastings. Please, Mr. Mayor, stop putting shovels in the ground. I agree. The buildings are too high. They're obstructing the view for a lot of people of the Hudson. They're bringing in a lot of people into an area. I don't think Yonkers can handle the volume of people that are going to be coming in, and they're not done yet. You still got some developments going up on Buena Vista, and then you got the whole Ludlow project that's still being talked about. That's going to be another huge project. You got a lot of stuff going on Warburton, and Woolworth is being all bought up by a gentleman by the name of Joe Cotter, the guy who owns the land that Lionsgate Studio sits on. He's buying all of Woolworth, and he's going to just build over there. That's all going to be new developments. There's going to be a lot of people coming into the city because those apartments are not going to be for the individuals that live here in Yonkers in that area. They're just too expensive. And they didn't increase the ordinance, so it's not like there's more units available for affordable housing. The area there is going to be completely changed, and the individuals who live there now will not just be moving into those developments in the waterfront. Here's what someone says: I plan on putting my house on the market. Seeing what we have elected in our city council is a disgrace. So, folks, I'm not just saying this. Some people say, "Oh, Freddie, you're critical." I repeat what people say to me. Yeah, I give my opinion a lot of times, but it's not just my opinion that I'm always giving. I'm telling you how people feel, and people feel like I feel. Right? What happened to our great city? Our majority leader can't even read or write a sentence. I watched her during the budget meeting and literally laughed how our government has become a mockery. And I didn't write this post. A comment. That wasn't me. Mayor Spano, clean the mess in City Hall. Beware, Tasha is running for mayor. Lock your doors and hold on to your wallets. You see? See? Metro North Express trains never stop at Ghetto Square homeless housing station. This is District 1. This is what people are saying about our city. People that live here. And I understand their frustration. I understand where they're coming from. And I get why they would say that about Getty Square, District 1. Shanae Williams, which I'll be playing a video of her talking about affordable housing here in a second. Wow, is that Lisa on the left? Talking about Tasha Diaz in that picture. I thought it was more Mary J. Tasha was elected to attend every ribbon cutting while she freeloads. Just please do us a favor and don't speak. Again, to those who, very few minority who have said something to me about my criticism of the majority leader, the way she conducts herself, carries herself. But it's not just me. Like I told one of these individuals, oh, you think it's me? I'm the only one that's saying it? There's people that she kikis with that are saying it behind her back. Trust me. And she's all smiles with them in pictures and when you see at events. Just saying. Was the city of Yonkers transfer tax waived on the recent sale of Ridge Hill Complex? Why do the citizens keep having to pay, but developers skate by free? And that's another, again, complaint. Why do developers get tax breaks? And again, they say that this is to incentivize them to come here in the city of Yonkers. But I say they wouldn't need such high or so many tax breaks if there weren't so many hands in the pot. That's the problem. Trust me, I understand the business. When you got a lot of people getting money, making money, the guy or the company or the thing that actually produces the money, which in this case is the developer, needs to find a way to make extra money or save money because they have to pay extra people that they normally wouldn't have to pay, right? Kickbacks is what I'm talking about. So in order for them to be able to give all these kickbacks, they say, hey, we can't increase the affordable housing. On top of that, you want us to go 20% affordable housing in our units. And then, these taxes and all that, you got to give us these tax breaks and you got to keep the affordable housing to 10% if you want those kickbacks. Trust me, that's how that works. That's how that works. I'm sure. In my opinion, $585 million. Wow. I wonder if these developers drove up Warburn Avenue to see the condition of the neighborhood that they're investing in. Oh, yeah, they have. They know where they're investing in. They invest in neighborhoods like that. That's what they look for. They wait till it gets run down and get it cheap. They wait till the city picks up a lot of the properties and then they can get them cheap off the city, right? Make deals with elected officials to pick them up, and then they develop them and they call it, revitalizing. Some call it regentrification or gentrification, I should say, right? And that's what's happening. So they know it's going to change. One day you're going to drive down Warburn and it won't be in that condition, whoever made this comment. And this, my friends, is all you need to know. A 20-year pilot and 100% abatement on taxes for improvements. 20-year pilot. Pilot is payment in lieu of taxes. So instead of paying the developers their property taxes, let's say it would be, 30 million. I'm just saying, picking a number. Let's just say 30 million a year. They opt to pay 10 million a year for the next 20 years. They make that deal. They say, hey, if we're going to develop here, we can't afford to pay the tax at the regular rate. You got to give us these pilots, these tax breaks. So if we got to pay 30 million a year, we want to pay 10 million, and you got to put that in a contract for the next 15, 20 years. And so that's why people are upset as their taxes go up here in the city. Can we get pilots? Can the residents get some pilots? Any pilot programs for the residents? All right. Only in the question of the city of Hills and Soap Spano land, how much tax breaks are they getting and how much taxes will they pay, if any? Right. What is Tasha Diaz wearing? See, that's what they say here. And I'm not the only one. Again, Tasha, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you here. I really am. I'm trying to help you. Trust me. They smile with you because you helping them out. They ain't cool with you. They don't like you. They're not gonna invite you to their house. They're not hanging out with you. Once it's all done, they're not gonna call you up and say, "Hey, Tasha, how you doing?" No, they kiki with you now, so you can keep doing what they need you to do, and the people are gonna keep talking about you, and those people too. Those people too. Trust me. What is Tasha Diaz wearing? You see, I'm not the only one. Someone should teach her what is appropriate. She would do well to consult Shanae Williams, who is always perfect, and they are being sarcastic. You mean Masky McMask Mask? I don't know what that means. What an embarrassment. I really hope she retires and goes away. This is what people in the city are saying. Okay? This is what people are saying. Ha ha ha. Remember what Lakeisha wore the day she was inaugurated. I'm sorry. Lakeisha is a one-termer. It took 50 to 60 years for this to happen in the Democratic People's Republic of Yonkers. Kudos to Mike Spano, because if Yonkers had real gangsters, it would have looked like Hoboken and not the punchline it became. I recall my grandmother recalling how Yonkers was the San Francisco of the East Coast with trolleys winding up and down its beautiful hills until it became the city of hills where nothing is on the level. As my former NYPD co-worker Eric Adams helps put the final nail in NYC's coffin, Mike Spano at least appears to be doing the opposite. I went to Sacred Heart High School with Mike, and he is and was a consummate gentleman. I worked with Eric Adams and had a front row seat for his racial antics that would have sent someone who looks like me to federal prison. It's an absolute tragedy that Adams and I don't know what you're talking about NYC. We're here in Yonkers. I totally agree with you about Mike Spano. This guy has done a spectacular job as mayor, and he is a true gentleman. I hope the next mayor is half as good and will be a tough act to follow. Best mayor in Yonkers history. Yeah. Well, that's it for the comments there. But again, a lot of them about Tasha Diaz, majority leader, and the way she dresses. So it's not just me. I'm not picking on Tasha. Tasha, I'm trying to let you know it's not appropriate. And you're representing people of color, and I don't like that. Because that's not how we are. And that's not how we talk. We are more sophisticated, more intelligent. We have it together a lot more than that. All right? Because that is what some people are going to assume how all women of color are, just ignorant people. They are. And I know you can say, oh, I don't care what people say. Well, you should. Okay? When you're an elected official, you should. And if you're standing there next to everyone else who's dressed appropriately and you got on poom poom shorts with your Mary J. Blige sunglasses and your Mr. T chains, that's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. All right? You've threatened to beat people up. You've screamed out in the city council chambers. People are fed up with that. People are fed up with that. And I hear that you may be running for mayor. But I think that if you do run, it's strictly to split the Hispanic vote because they know that Latinos are going to be coming strong. So what they're going to do, they're going to put someone like you to split the vote. What do I mean by that? I mean that if they have someone that they don't want to win, let's say a good Latina or Latino candidate, and they know that they have a good chance of winning, they'll throw in Tasha Diaz in there just to get votes pulled away from that other candidate, that other Latino candidate. Or it could be black, person of color, any person of color, right? And I think that's what they're going to do. And I think that's why she would enter, because she has no chance in hell to become the next mayor of the city of Yonkers. No chance in hell. That's for fact. And a lot of people upset with the whole housing thing, Tasha, and how you flip. And you can see why. She's down with the developers. She's helping keep the ordinance low for a reason. She likes to key with them. Trust me, I've seen it. I've seen her walk into Castle Royale, the developer, rich guys, you know. Oh, hey, Tasha, darling, Tasha, thank you. Look at me, look at me, look at me. They love me, right? Why? Why? Because getting money and you helping them. That's why they love you, right? Won't last. It won't last. So you got to watch yourself there. And then I just, you know, this is, I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, it's one picture. That's a majority leader there. That's a couple pictures. There she goes there. Yeah, and she lovely. And I want to show you, this video is from the Yonkers Voice before I get out of here. And it has Shanae Williams and Councilman John Rubo. Doesn't Shanae look so happy and excited to be speaking about the housing ordinance? This is from February of 2021. And I just want to play it and then, you know, to see what they were saying then and hear what's going on now.
Well, we are live on Yonkers Voice. Thank you guys for joining. Audience, we have John Rubo, the chair of Housing and Real Estate, and Councilwoman Shanae Williams. The point of this interview is to give us clarification on where are we in regards to affordable housing. It's a very important subject, and it's a subject that needs to be addressed because the people of Yonkers want to know. We are seeing many houses being built in Yonkers. Things are moving forward, but at the same time, people of Yonkers are moving out because those houses, those buildings are coming up, buildings that most of us cannot afford to live in. So
look at John.
Since John Rubo, you are the chair, I'm going to give you a minute and a half, more or less, okay, for your opening, and then Shanae, you take it after. Is that okay?
John is the chair of the real estate committee.
Sure.
John,
that's great. All right, thank you. Thank you for having us on. I think this is great because it gives us an opportunity to talk about the affordable housing ordinance. Many members of the Yonkers City Council are very passionate about this.
Yeah, right.
And we're trying to. I think we have lots of ideas surfacing throughout the council, and we're trying to figure out how to funnel them together and create or revise the ordinance that currently exists in a way that benefits the residents of the city of Yonkers. So I think we are having some good conversations. We've brought people to the table, to the real estate meetings, to speak to listen to. We've had some meetings with stakeholders. We're going to continue to do so. Next Tuesday evening, we scheduled a real estate meeting, and I've invited HRNA. HRNA is a firm that
happened last year. So I'm really passionate about getting this done. That's why I introduced it, and that's why we've been, pushing and fighting to really get in the community to put their input, because it has to be about the community. The reason why we're fighting for 20%, at least why I'm fighting for 20% affordable housing, is for the people of Yonkers, so that they don't have to get priced out when we do build luxury buildings, which is what is being proposed. And we want those. We want to welcome new people. We want to be friendly to developers. But my concern and my main thing is really about the Yonkers residents and making sure that they are benefiting from all of the growth. And with the ordinance, it's more than just the 20%, and that's why it's so challenging, and that's why we haven't been able to get it passed as yet. It's because there are a lot of specific details that goes into this ordinance to figure out, the area median income, to figure out what percentage, what breakdown within each bracket of AMI to allocate for X amount of housing, right? It's really complicated, and it's really like you heard, there's not a lot of research about it. I mean, we did have a couple of studies, housing studies, one by Westchester County and one by another firm, which we have shared and talked about. And it's important because people are housing insecure. That's the bottom line. People are struggling, especially, now. We can see it more so because of the pandemic, but people are struggling. It's not going to get better after, COVID goes away. It's going to get worse, in my opinion. And so we have to make sure that we put everything in line now and do it right so that we can help the people who's going to need the help and people who need the help now. And that's, really where I'm coming from with all of this, is making sure that we can build up our city, that we can bring new people in, but that we can also make sure that the people who live here, who have been here their entire lives, people who are poor people who just don't have the funds to be able to afford really expensive rents, can actually stay here, not get priced out through, whether it's, not get priced out in a sense that we know that when builders come in and build expensive housing, and the neighboring landlords around see how much they're charging for rent, they take that as an opportunity to say, okay, well, if that's the market, we're going to increase our rents. And that's going to severely hurt the people that's here, that just don't have it. And that's what we're concerned about. So how do we combat that? There's a lot of things that we have to do. This ordinance is just a small piece of that. I'm focusing on other things as well as this ordinance, but I'm looking at and having conversations with developers who want to build affordable housing that we can buy, that we can sell to residents, and have residents really invest in the city of Yonkers, and so that they can actually have a stake here and stay here, right? We're having conversations. We've had conversations with folks who felt like the current ordinance just doesn't have anything in there to help them build 100% affordable housing.
A lot of that is just a bunch of nonsense. She's talking in circles. John Rubo lying, talking in circles. That was February of last year. We're approaching June. Well, we just began May, but still pretty much close to June now of 2022. And they have not produced another affordable housing. She says she's the one that introduced it. In fact, it was authored by Mike Cater. He brought her on board because he thought that he can help, or she would help sell the ordinance to the rest of the members of the council. Majority Leader Tasha Diaz jumped on board, and then she started championing for it. Rubo was always against it. The two Republicans were always against it. But there was, enough support. Corazon was kind of, at the time, she was down with the people that ain't down with you no more, is obvious, and so she didn't really want to go full 20%. But she still knew that there was a need for an increase. And Councilwoman Shanae Williams mentions that she's thinking of other ideas besides just increasing the housing ordinance, like building affordable housing developments where people could purchase. Do people want to purchase an apartment up on the top of Nodine Hill? What about on Ashburton and Warburton? That's where they're building the affordable housing developments, in the areas where you see high crime, the impoverished areas. Her district, District 1, District 2, Corazon Pineda up in Nodine Hill. So they're basically saying we're going to keep the housing ordinance to 10% because we don't really want too many people moving into the luxury developments, and that we're going to build affordable and low-income housing over in the districts with the highest crime, or in the areas of Yonkers with the highest crime. Pretty much segregating those who need affordable housing and low-income housing, because that's what they've been doing. That's where all the affordable housing and low-income housing developments are being built. And they still have yet to increase the ordinance, not even by another %. Right. So she says, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I care about those that are impoverished, that are in need of affordable housing and all this stuff, but you're not really fighting for them. What are you doing? They haven't heard anything from you about it, from any of them. So it's all about the developers. And what she also says is that the people, property owners around the developments take advantage. And yeah, of course, that's what they're going to do. Lionsgate, the studio itself, is going to cause the cost of living in that area to go up. The prices of all properties, of all rental units, regardless if they're in a new development or in a building that's been there since the 1800s, it's all going to go up. It's all going to go up. So like I said, the individual that made a comment about driving down Warburg in the condition that it's in, that's now. Once people get priced out, which is happening, that's not going to be that way. And I see some of the repair work being done to some of the homes that are already there. They're being bought and they're being repaired. They're changing them. They're putting new siding, everything, new windows, fresh paint, new fencing, and they're going to jack the price up. They're not going to, welcome back in certain individuals after they did all that. It is not. They're going to jack the price up. They're going to jack the price up, and a lot of them are not going to take the vouchers. They're not going to have to. That area is going to start to change, and even they're going to be able to get tenants who can pay cash or pay, out of pocket, even the increased rent now that they're charging. So it's going to price people out. That area is going to change. The people are going to leave the area. If they can't go to another side of Yonkers, they're going to end up going out of Yonkers, period. They can even move out of the state, which a lot of people have been doing. So she cares about them so much, like she says, and she wants to retain those who have been in Yonkers forever. Then what are you doing? We're over a year since you made these statements, and you haven't done anything. You haven't done a damn thing. Nothing. And John flip-flopped. The guy was against it. Then he decided he was for it. Then he was against it. All right. Remember when Tasha Diaz flipped? She was for it the entire time, for her people. District 3, my constituents. She brought a bunch of people there with her and confused them. They didn't know what was going on either. She confused them. She didn't let them know she was working for the developers to keep the housing ordinance at 10%. And the reason why they haven't introduced anything since is because they're waiting for them to finish developing. They don't want people a certain color and a certain financial status in those apartments. Those are being built for other people who are going to be coming in to work at that studio, work downtown in Manhattan, the financial district, all that. Instead of going away to Stanford, go right up to Yonkers now. It's all luxury apartments there. They got rid of the folks that used to live there. And that's what's going to happen. And JFK Marina, it doesn't matter if that was a place where, people in that community there went at one point, because the people who are in that community now won't be there. So who cares whether JFK Marina remains public parkland or not? They won't be there to enjoy it anyway. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. I'm trying to give you guys the truth here, what's going on. These guys are bamboozling everyone, and they're using people of color. It's sad. I see that. That's what I see. I see that they put 4 women of color there to do these things and make it, try to make it seem like it's, they're doing everything for the people. It's because there had been a bunch of, if they were white, people would really be upset about what's going on. That's what I think. Anyway, I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics. Thank you for joining me. And I want you ladies on the city council to know you're being used, and history will not be kind to you. No, it will not. And Shanae Williams, you're full of crap, just like John Rubo. It's my opinion. Have a great night, folks. You're selling the people out. Sellouts.
Ready wins. Fatality.
Thank you, folks, for joining me. That was my show for tonight. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered, the only place that gives it to you raw, unbiased, untainted, and unfiltered. Honest, with integrity, always. If you want the truth, if you want to be lied to, go there. I walked home today, 22 minutes. Last week, it took 18 minutes by car. Road closures with no signage indicating road closed. We need detour signs and notice in advance. Yeah, there's a lot of work being done, as causing a lot of traffic. I can understand your frustration. I do a lot of stuff to go downtown, whether to the bank, to the post office, then back to my office, and it's a pain. I hate doing it. I hate going from Lockwood to Getty Square or Main Street over there to the bank and stuff, because that's going to be at least half hour for me, 40-minute thing, and it just kills a lot of time. And they're closing a lot of streets, and at least if they can let the residents know which streets will be closed ahead of time, so that way they can plan accordingly the night before and make it to work on time. And I think that people are asking for this. Let them know, where are you going to do road work, so people could plan ahead. But folks, it's going to get worse. Where are they going to put, all the cars that are going to be traveling every day once these developments are built, once they're rented out? And people are in their cars on the roads going places. They can't make Yonkers wider. They can't just stretch out the city, right? Are they going to knock buildings down at certain thoroughfares like Yonkers Avenue to create more space? They have signs posted on certain times of the mornings. They don't allow parking. You can't parallel park because there's so much traffic. It's taking people 20 minutes just to get from Sawmill, exit 5, into the city. It's going to get worse. This thing is crazy. This is why I've been fighting against it, because I don't like Yonkers. I like Yonkers that it wasn't crowded. I used to hate the Bronx for that. Bronx double parked. I used to hate it. I never liked to go in the Bronx. And we are now the Bronx. We're Bronkers. Okay, we become Bronkers. And she says, Shanae Williams, I keep pointing because I have another screen. I have her face on the other screen. She says that, I want to welcome people into Yonkers. Why? Why? No, I'm just saying, why? Why? We got people here. Let's help the people here. Let's do developments for the people here, right? Not so high. I mean, I don't understand why you want to bring. Do we need more? Is that what it is? Is that Yonkers' biggest problem? We don't have enough people. All right, so more people going to take your jobs, or whatever. More crowded schools. The schools are going to be crowded. All right, the schools are going to be crowded. They're going to get even more crowded. And that's what she wants. I don't understand that. But yeah, so expect a lot of delays in the coming, years, a couple of years, 3 years. It's going to take some time. They're doing a lot of, Con Edison's doing a lot of stuff. The developments, they're doing a lot of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of traffic, a lot of construction, a lot of road work, all those metal plates to ruin your freaking cars. I'm tired of that. My car, right? They have all those plates everywhere. So, I mean, if we don't say anything, it's gonna continue to happen. Freddie Vasquez, thank you for joining me. That's a fair thing, at least. Yeah, they should tell us where they're gonna be doing construction and road work, I should say. Anyway, thank you, folks. Again, please, I'd love for you guys to email me with potential topics that you'd like me to discuss and look into. If you want to remain anonymous, you will. I will not, don't tell me who you are. I will not mention your name. Let me know. politicwithfred@gmail.com. politicwithfred@gmail.com. Also, I do want to announce this. YMA is having a talent show on Friday. They're having their first talent show. The students there all signed up. It's been going on. They've been doing practice and stuff for the past few weeks and stuff. A lot of them are very excited. They're going to do one in the school during the day, and they're going to have one in the evening for parents to attend. Elected officials, you should be in attendance. I'm going to send you guys out some special invites. But YMA, Yonkers Montessori Academy over there in District 4 will be having a talent show, student talent show on Friday. And they're all excited about it. So parents, I hear they're very talented kids. A lot of kids have a lot of talent, especially with instruments. A lot of, instrumentalists, guitars, piano, do very good. So check it out. If you can make it to the school and watch it, and if you have a kid that's in the talent show, I'm going to be there. I look forward to it. So yeah, just want to put that out there. Talent show, YMA's first talent show. It's going to be more to come. It's brought to you by somebody special. Shout out to you, special person. You're amazing. Always. Always and
so
forever.
We're looking at how to address that. In fact,
you're amazing. She does amazing things at that school. She's going to do amazing things. Just check it out. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Thank you. Have a good night. I'm out of here.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I was raised in housing. I was raised in housing. I was raised in housing. I don't think you were.
In another word, Mr. Rubo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Freddie wins. Fatality.